Welcome to the Global Glug, un podcast internacional sobre spirits dove condividiamo historias y tradizioni made in English con un toque de español, italiano y un accenno de français. Chin chin! Hello and welcome back. A new episode of the Global Glug. My name is Renato Molo, and today I'm sorry my pronunciation. I hope I will pronounce it well. Magdalena Reszke, is that correct?
Reszke.
Reszke, thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's
Brand ambassador of Colors of Rum. Thank you very much, Magda, for your time. I was following your journey since a while now. Yes, I'm just curious about the company because, of course, you are not producing rum. It's a company, it's an independent bottler. You are based in Poland, if I'm not wrong.
correct.
And yeah, so before starting asking you more questions about the company, I would like to know more about you, Magda. Who is Magdalena Reszke? Can you tell me more about you? How did you end up being brand ambassador of this company, and maybe why you fell in love with rum?
Right. So thanks a lot for having me here, Renato. It's a really pleasure. Appreciate a lot.
Thank you for your time.
So my journey with rum actually started with whiskey. I mean, I started with I started enjoying and actually started drinking it hard spirits 15 years ago when I joined a company called Wealth Solutions, which is the owner of the brand Colors of Rum. At that moment, the company was specializing in bottling single cask whiskey, and single cask and cask strength whiskey as well, and the main focus was to find the oldest liquid that the distillery had at that time. So these were usually pretty premium bottles because, like with Glenfarclas or Karuizawa, at the moment we bottled it, they were literally the oldest Karuizawa and Glenfarclas that those distilleries had. This was actually my first. Yeah, to be honest, I know you may laugh, but that was really my first experience with whiskey in my life. I used to drink, beer, vodka. Yes, hello, Poland, of course, right? But I didn't drink much whiskey. I probably didn't know whiskey, and what was available at the time was, I'm guessing, like Jack Daniels or Ballantine's. So even if I tried it, I thought, oh, that's horrible, and I didn't come back to it. So my very first whiskey meeting was during a very special, exceptional, I would say, whiskey tasting that we had probably 20 plus whiskey from like 1980s, 1970s at the time. And believe me, these were the first whiskeys I really enjoyed and tried probably, and Brora from 1980, right, like all those San Magdalena, Rosebanks, those whiskeys that probably cost like half a fortune right now. And I was so surprised that I could smell white pepper. And I don't know what I was more surprised about, that I smelled white pepper, or that I could smell that what I was smelling was white pepper. And I thought, oh my God! So there's so much more into those, into the whiskey than I thought before. And I guess this was like 15 years ago, and 5 years ago. No, it was 6 years ago that we had a chance to bottle Foursquare, 12 years old Foursquare from the private cask selection. And that was the first rum we bottled. And then I wouldn't say it got easier, because it didn't, but probably this was the moment we wanted to. We thought, okay, maybe we are done with whiskey. We've done what we could do, and now it's time for some for rum. So this is when the brand was created, and our first rum hit the market 2022. So yeah, and that was the moment also when I started cooperating as a brand ambassador.
Okay, so can we say it's a smaller company, or how many people are working for Colors of Rum, more or less?
Yeah, it's a very small company. It's like not more than 10 people.
Okay, yeah. And so you said you started with Foursquare. How was the impact? I mean, switching from from whiskey to rum. How was also the impact with your customers? Were they a bit disappointed? Were they happy that you changed direction, or how was it?
Well, they were happy that they could buy something cheaper than.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because those single cask whiskey we did, they were, not always, but few thousand, euro. That was the minimum that you had to spend on it, right? So when a bottle of Foursquare came, that was much, I believe it. How much was it? Around 120 euro, maybe 100 euro, or maybe even less. Maybe I'm now maybe my memory is not helping me now, but it was just money that they could spend and say, oh, I like it, or I didn't like it, right? And just without thinking if that's really worth it.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be pretty successful. We not only sold this bottle in Poland, but also actually in the whole Middle East Europe, I would say.
Okay. So switching from whiskey to rum, yes. Was it difficult to? I mean, why did you decide to bottle first Foursquare 12 years rum? Did you meet someone in the rum industry, or were you seeing maybe the market which was changing as well? Of course, rum is getting more and more famous. Was it a decision because of that, or was it maybe just by chance?
No, actually, no, not by chance. Actually, our management saw potential in rum much earlier on. I remember we had some workshops, internal workshops, when we learned about the Merara rum, and it was much earlier than before Skeldon hit those astronomical prices. This was a time when they all still cost probably 150 euro. But there's a gap between talking about something and knowing it and buying cask and bottling it, right? So it takes time before also somebody trusts you, right? To sell you the rum, and then because with cask there comes also a big responsibility, because if we bottle something, we put a label on it that says Foursquare or distill at Foursquare. Yeah, we must be sure that this really comes from Foursquare, right? Because there's a chance that Richard will taste it and he will say, right, it's not it. And not only Richard, but
a lot of people.
Anyone who likes rum, right? So we need to be sure that this is really it, right? So this is this trust and responsibility at the same time. So with Foursquare, I think it was quite popular to do those private cask selection within Europe. There were not only us, but other independent bottlers who were able to buy a cask from Foursquare and do this special edition.
So how is the process now? I imagine a lot of independent bottlers, they normally buy rums from brokers. There is a big one in Amsterdam. Are you buying mainly from brokers? Maybe I imagine you started with brokers, but I also saw on Instagram you are traveling a lot. You have been in different distilleries, the French Antilles, in
Yes.
Barbados, wherever. Is this a part of your process, selecting cask, going to the distilleries and trying to get some rums? Because I know it's not easy, because normally they ask minimum quantities, and some smaller independent bottlers, they cannot buy these quantities. So how does it work with Color of Rum? How is your process?
Yeah, this is true. So now we work with both distilleries and brokers. But as you said, in the beginning, that was usually a cooperation with Main Rum, and maybe it was easier for us because of what we did in whiskey, that we bottled a lot of whiskey from distilleries as well. But still, what we've done, it had such a huge impact that we had pretty good credentials, I would say. Yeah, we were pretty trustworthy. So because I think almost everyone in the industry can contact any other broker and ask, to buy a few samples. But the question is, what will they send you, right? Will it be something worth checking, worth even paying for the sample, right? Or there will be something that nobody wanted for the last 10 years. Both, like, working directly with distilleries gave us definitely access to unique casks, but also I know that distilleries don't work with everybody, right? So we have if they work with someone, they usually work with them only, right? They don't sell to everybody. That's a advantage when you work with them, and disadvantage if you don't work with them. Right?
Yeah.
you need to wait for your turn. And working with brokers, this has pretty good advantage because they often hold some hidden gems, right, from sometimes closed distilleries or sometimes very old rums.
Yeah.
Because most distilleries, they won't offer you 20 plus years old rum because they don't have it, because it wouldn't survive in the tropics. That's the first. And probably they don't have it as well because like 10, 20, 30 years ago, their focus was on just regular sales and not keeping rum for I don't know how many years, right? So getting your cask from brokers like Main Rum or any others, or even from us, because now we also have a substantial set of casks in our warehouses, that gives you also a very nice opportunity to have a very old rum, right? And since it was aged continentally, then it's really old, right? It's not something like 10, 12, 15 years old, but you can have 30 years old rum. So that's a big advantage with working with another brokers. When we work, when looking for new casks, it's challenging. It's challenging because there's a part of me that because I'm taking part in this process in cask selection. So there's a part of me that wants to, find the casks, the liquid that really is resembling the original, that, that you smell it and you say, oh, wow, that's the typical Hamden. Well, disregarding the mark right now, but that's the typical one. And the other side of me is, let's find a Hamden that doesn't resemble Hamden, but just show the unique, possibilities that the distillery has. So the second part is, the second part of me, sometimes it's really conflicting with others because it's risky, right? If we find something that's not so obvious Hamden-like, right? Will people like it? Will we sell it, right? Because here we talk about business and not just sharing a bottle with a group of friends. Yeah, so that needs to be balanced. But I hope we already proved the market right, that we can find the liquid that is so typical Hamden, and then the liquid that is, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that they could do such rum, right?
Yeah, you were talking about Hamden. I think also I know they started also to get on the market thanks also a lot of independent bottlers because I think with La Maison Vellier he also launched them. So I heard about Worthy Park. Now they are no longer selling rums to independent bottlers. How was your reaction? Are you working a lot with them? Did you used to work with them, or is maybe something that you didn't impact that much your business?
Them directly, so that hasn't impacted us in any way. But also that move didn't surprise us. Because now so many distilleries don't want to sell the rums. They want to age the rums, right? Experiment a bit, see what happens if, right, they do, I don't know, they age it in different type of cask, or they age it, or maybe they will use a different yeast or different type of sugar cane, right? So they just want to do some experiments on their ground and under their own terms, right? So that's not only Worthy Park. There are plenty more distilleries that told the brokers, stop. We're not going to provide you with cask right now. Maybe in a few years, but now we're just doing what we want to do.
Do you think this is going to be more difficult for you as business, or is it maybe also an opportunity for you to find newer distillery, new producers, new distilleries? How do you see that? On one hand, our warehouse is quite full with casks, so we are okay for the next few years. Okay.
On the other hand, yes, it will be challenging, but I see it as an opportunity, because then we move and we will find, a distillery in Colombia, right? And try something new.
Yeah. Of course, this is something that is changing. The rum again is growing everywhere. You can find rum in all parts of the world. I saw some Japanese rums as well. So it's countries that normally we wouldn't think about rum, but it's something which is rum industry. The rum hype, I hope it's not going to be a short-term hype. But yeah, maybe as you said at the beginning, it's also because a matter of prices. So rum is more accessible for now, hoping that it's not going to be like whiskey, crazy prices. There are also, of course, a lot of expensive rums, like Caroni, these kind of rums. I saw you have some in your lineup. How was the process with these rums? Do you have some casks? So you told me you have cask at your age. Are they still aging, I imagine? How many do you have? So is there something that you do normally? You buy the whole barrel and you keep it for a while in Poland, or are you bottling them quite quickly? How does it work?
We have them. In Europe, in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, this is where we keep them. It's just logistics is easier.
Yeah.
We have. It's not that I don't want to tell you, but I don't know the exact amount of casks we have. But say if we wanted to bottle each of them, then the next few years are pretty much covered, and I'm not sure we will stop in a few years' time if we were bottling, say, even 1 or 2 casks a month. So
okay, yeah. So you're quite good covered. Talking about market, so you are based in Poland. I know Poland, Polish people they like rum. I saw a lot of pictures of people. I mean, it's an interesting market. You started there. What is your biggest market so far? I imagine Europe, maybe the countries where you're more present. Can you tell me more about?
Yeah, that would be France and Germany.
Okay.
In Europe. Yeah. Yeah, we have partners, distributors in both countries. We are represented by La Maison de Whiskey in France, So that's they got it covered. We have a very good partner in Germany called Absolutely Nuts Spirits, because they are absolutely nuts about spirits, and they also doing a fantastic job. So when it comes to Europe, and we definitely want to focus more on Poland, because as you said, this is mostly it's growing really rapidly. What people didn't imagine to do, I mean, buy €200 bottle like 2-3 years ago, now they do, right? So and we see a rapid change in the attitude, right? That, you know, they thought, oh, €200 for a rum, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, it's doable. Especially because we don't have euro in Poland, right? We operate in Polish zloty.
Yeah.
So this, €200 in Europe, it's something okay. In Poland, it's quite a lot of money. So we can see that this change is really rapid, and the growth is quite big. So we're gonna be here with, you know, on the trade shows with different master classes, like private and bar master classes, also to share more knowledge about rum, to do some education, and to mostly to share love for rum, I guess.
So are these master classes mainly focused for end consumers, or you do it also for say restaurants or bigger potential bigger buyers?
It's a good idea that you gave me right now, but most of the end customers, yeah.
End customers, okay, yeah.
Yeah, end customers, yeah. But it's not only, you know, just rum or whiskey drinkers, but we also started with some rum and cigars pairing, and it's also that's there's a challenge here too, because cigar smokers they usually like sweeter rums. And we don't have that many sweet rums, right? And our rums are usually high in ABV, so that's sometimes can be like a little bit discomforting. So yeah, that's something that we want to focus on when choosing another cask. That we will have that audience also at the back of the mind, like, hey, there are also cigar lover smokers, right? And maybe we can somehow balance it and find something suitable for them.
I also have another idea for you. Maybe why not rum and chocolate? we do it. We do it at our restaurant. It works perfectly well, and because sometimes
I usually bring chocolate to trade shows, to festivals. Yeah, so we have rums and we have chocolate. It really pairs perfectly.
Yeah. And I was checking also the Instagram of Maungay. They are doing it now also, rum and chocolate with high-end chocolate, and it's really nice pairing. And I think it helps to get a wider and broader audience to rum, because sometimes it happens to us. We have customers coming, they have never tasted a rum, never, but they come for chocolate. So, and then they discover rum, and it's interesting to see. Of course, again, Colombian rum is not a high ABV, it's more like easy rum to drink, 35 to 40 ABV, so it's not that strong. But yeah, it helps to democratize the
It's
the
a
rum.
good idea, yeah.
And yes, so you know that I'm in Colombia. I was last month, it was in January, end of January, beginning of February, so a couple of weeks ago, the Miami Rum Fest. And I met a gentleman, I don't remember his name, he was representing your brand, Colors of Rum, and I tasted some rums there, amazing. I saw you had some Guadalupe, so you had a big range of different rums there. And my question is about the American market. So you're getting into the American market. I know that you are working with Raising Grasses. I don't remember his name, but he's also an independent bottler. So can you maybe tell me more about the approach to the American market, the difficulties, because I know it's a difficult market to get in. How is it going?
Yeah, it's well, definitely it's a massive market, right? And rum is gaining traction among whiskey, right, bourbon lovers. So yeah, the official distribution is starting soon. I hope that Raising Glasses will be able to offer our rum starting from next month, maybe April. It also sometimes depends all on the logistics, but also regulations, right?
Yeah.
Because regulations and yeah, that's the tricky part in the United States. Apart, while being represented by an American partner, some part of these regulations are on them, right? We don't worry because they are already registered in the United States, so we don't have to do it from the very beginning. But there's also another part on us, like having some certificates and provide them with correct labels, with all those marks. There are plenty of them, right? But they all need to be accepted. Not only they need to look nice, but just they need to be accepted, right? There are no regulations in Europe that somebody is accepting your label. You just print something cool, stick it on the bottle, and here we go, right?
Yeah, would be nice.
And there are so many information that you need to put on the label that needs to be accepted before you start selling it. And there's also this, challenging part about consumer education, because many Americans, they still associate rum mainly with cocktails, right? So they have plenty of tiki bars, right? And people enjoy it in cocktails, and it's cool because rum cocktails are amazing. Yet what we want to show is that rum can be as refined as, single malt whiskey, right? So something that they know the tastes, aromas, etc., but not sure they all know how single cask, in our case, single cask rum tastes like.
Yeah. It's a tough market, United States, but yes, as you said, there is a big potential. It's growing so fast. I see it also. It's now the second time I go to the Miami Rum Fest. And yeah, there is really also, of course, geeky people like maybe we can be, but also more people that they have no clue about rum. So selling your rums, it's of course something which is difficult. It's an ultra niche market, but this ultra niche market is also growing fast. And I think yes, and also Americans, they don't have that much access to rum like in Europe. It's a bit this difference, no? Europe is way more easier. I don't know if it's also because of the culture. Say in France, they know it's like wine. They know exactly what they're talking about, compared to the maybe United States.
Maybe it's just more of that tradition to drink not whatever it's on the shelf, right? But like countries. Talking about Europe, like countries like France, Italy, Spain, they are very strong in wine, and you just don't drink any wine. Of course, 80% of people will drink any wine, but now we are talking about that niche market, so that you really know what grape you want, right? What vineyard you like, which vintage you want to try, right? Because you know the differences. And the same applies to rum. People, there are, on many occasions, people ask us, okay, and Magda, what do you think about, say, Caroni 99 versus Caroni 98? And I'm like, okay, let's start this discussion, So, this is maybe, like with whiskey, people say that 1972 was like one of the best years for whiskey. And with wine, there are many more vintages that you call the best ones, right? But it applies also to rum. People know, right, what year they like the best, right? What year was the best for distillery. So yeah, we get more and more educated audience, and even if it's a small audience, I would say it's okay for us, because with us, when we do single cask rums, we don't need millions, and we don't want millions, because we can't bottle millions of casks.
Yeah, of course. It's also about logistics, and you should be way bigger. So just with 10 people, where do you bottle your rums? Do you bottle them in Poland? How does it work?
In
this
the
part?
UK.
In the UK, okay.
In the UK.
Okay. So you bottle it there, and then you ship it to the different countries depending where. Okay,
Yes.
Okay, it's easier, of course, I imagine. About the future, I have a couple of questions about the future. So, keep looking for rum. Is there anything at market tendencies? For example, I know you were talking about before Hamden high ester rums. How do you see it? There's a lot of people that are crazy for high ester rums. How do you see it in Europe? Do you see it something which is just something which is going now but doesn't have that much future? How do you see it?
Well, it's funny with high ester rums because those high ester rums are rums that like whiskey drinkers are very uncomfortable with, right? They don't want to drink it. But if you don't have that whiskey background, I think high ester rums are the first rums that you are falling in love with. You're not starting with 40% easy, smooth Panama rum, but you start with Jamaican rums and you fall in love with them.
Why do you think? Why?
Because I know so many people that started this way. They didn't go with, they didn't start with 40% ABV. They started with heavy, high ester Jamaican ones. And there's no, way back then from that. It's not easy. It's not easy to enjoy then agricole rums, right? I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. And that was, I was surprised because I thought when people start drinking rum, they would go like, okay, let's do those easy, sweet, sometimes spiced even, right, rums, and then move to those, extra high ester ones. But within my group, and I'm talking about the people I know, no, they fell in love with all those pineapple and banana aromas, right? Mango aromas in Jamaican rum. And then after a while, they started developing more taste for, say, Guyana or agricole, right? This is I think it's not easy. I remember myself in the very beginning, I didn't like agricole rums that much. I totally went for the high ester ones. And totally somehow by chance I started. I thought, let's open up. Let's try agricoles. Let's see whether I can like it. I can enjoy it. Yeah, and now I'm in love. So
it's interesting. Why? Because I always thought about high ester rum really something which is more like, I never heard this version you were telling about people getting into rum thanks to high ester rums. But yeah, it's interesting now. If I think about it, maybe I don't know. It's something, I don't know. Maybe sometimes rums are strong, high end. High ABV, and of course a high ester rum is also normally they come with high ABV as well. But maybe this funky reminds, as you said, fruits. It's not really my personal. I'm not saying that I don't like high ester rums, but if I have to choose between an Hamden high ester one with an agricole 15 years, I would rather go with the agricole 15 years. So it's interesting to hear
you're
about.
Right. The high ester rum are not something that you drink every day or that you're gonna drink, one bottle in one evening, right?
Yeah.
But I think what's how people are hooked up to those rum is because of those tropical fruits.
Exactly.
Right, and once you give the rum a little bit of air, right, and you stop smelling that nail polish remover any longer, then you smell all those fruits and you're like, what the heck? Why there's so much pineapple in it, right? So this is maybe this is it, right? That people are immediately attracted to Jamaican, and not only Jamaican are doing high ester rums, but mostly Jamaicans.
Yeah, yesterday I was tasting. I have a bottle of Savannah, the Must, and I like it, but it's not like an Hamden high ester one. But yes, it's more approachable, maybe to me. I mean, I also have this set Hamden, the 8 different marks, and I can't not really go through to everything because there is a moment really that I can't. I mean, it's so overwhelming. But I understand this was.
From Martinique?
No, I never tasted this one.
You never tried. No. Whenever you have a chance, when are you gonna be in Europe?
I will. My flight back is in end of April, so I will start my new job in Switzerland the 1st of May. So since after the 1st of May, say. I'll be
okay, because there's that Agricole Rum show in Paris, in France, either in April or in May, and it's just they focus only on Agricole. It's a 3-day show. Use it. Use the opportunity that you will be so close by now.
And that's amazing for me. That's what we were talking about before. I'm going back to Switzerland, and it will open me the whole. I mean, in Colombia, I love Colombia, of course, but rum-wise, I'm a bit stuck in. I can only get rums when I travel or friends come over to visit me, so that's not always easy. And sometimes I ask my friend with a cell phone, look, he's in the liquor store and showing me what I have, and I need to pick it like this. So, and sometimes also they cannot really take that much bottles because But it's really interesting about this high ester rum. So do you think there is a future for this, or it's just an hype? What do you think? It's going to be, or you as company, are you looking to get more and more in this direction, or you're focusing on other type of products?
The more people will start drinking rum, the more markets will open up. This will be not I don't think it's a hype. This will just continue.
Okay.
Right, because more and more people will be drinking high ester rum. Like we have a partner in China. We started distributing our rums in China last year, and Hamden is the first distillery they know or they heard about, and they love high ester Hamden. Right? Okay,
super interesting.
Like we started drinking high ester rums a few years ago in Europe, right, and we still drink it. And China is now starting to drink it, right? So then new markets will open, and those new people will start drinking high ester.
And also, if we think about how high ester rums are produced, I mean, the muckpit and the dunder and all these kind of type of different ways of producing the congeners. So it's really interesting, and it's not science. Yes, it's science, but it's also culture behind it. So how they do it, and historically how high ester rum are made. So yes, I perfectly understand it. And marketing, of course, comes along. The bottle have to be nice. They have to tell a story. So this is perfect, I think. And it's interesting. I didn't know that, but now I know that also you can get people into rum thanks to high ester rums. I will try it once in my rum tasting to see what. But normally when I open a high ester bottle, as you open it, the smell is so strong, and some people
it can be overwhelming.
Yeah,
true.
Okay, so about the future, anything new coming? Some secrets you can share? Something I don't know if there's
few things coming, and I cannot share any secrets. We are currently in the process of bottling new edition. So end of next month or maybe latest April, we're gonna start promoting a brand new edition.
Okay.
Plural, right? No, that's not not one bottle.
Markets in Europe or you're also planning for the States?
No, we start promoting it in Europe because this is because of the distance. But anyway, we'll be also shipping those bottles in the United States and also to China.
Okay, and another question. I know I have some people from the States listening to this podcast. Can you tell us where your rums will be available, in which states in the States, or do you already know that?
I know that they will be available in 42 states.
Okay.
So there's a pretty good chance that, there will be in the state that the listeners are listening from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And just the last question, I promise, that's the last one for you. And this is a tough question. They always ask me also during my rum tasting, which is your favorite rum among the Colors of Rums, and why? Yes, I hate this question, but I like to ask it anyway.
Okay, yeah. Well, it depends on the mood, right? So
of course,
I could probably choose 3 rums. So the first one would be Hamden.
Okay, yeah.
From our selection, it would be 1998. This is when I'm in the mood for something really like vibrant, full of character. It's not very high ester because it falls in the middle range of esters, but you can still get the funky profile, all those tropical fruits and say spices, right? It's all in your glass. So if I want to challenge my palate again or celebrate something, that would be definitely this Hamden I would go for. Another rum that I'm totally in love with is the Guadeloupe Bellevue Demoiselle. We have 2 editions, both from 1998.
Yes.
I think it's a very complex rum, but for me it's for those, I don't know, relaxed, elegant moments. It's perfect for quiet evening, moment of reflection. Oh boy.
Yeah.
But this is it. Yeah, this is it's quite complex. So you're not getting bored with it, and it's cool. I really love it. And number 3, although it's not the number 3 like the last one, but they are all somehow parallel to each other. It's Outflat.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I love the Outflat made on the Port Moron still. It is so, oh boy, it's so big, it's so heavy. It's so full of those congeners, and you cannot drink a lot of that. Yeah, but still, it's for some, I don't know. It's really complex, and I would say even thought-provoking. That has so many layers. Anyway, it's still a rum to sip really slowly, because you really need to have time to appreciate it, right?
Yeah. These are rums which are, of course, not easy to find. First of all, and it's so interesting if we talk about Guyana, the rums produced there. By DDL now, and they have such an amazing history. The plenty of different type of steels, wooden steels.
And they really have those heritage steels that they contribute to so many different, I would say even rum styles of rum, right?
Yeah.
There's so many flavors. It's amazing. It's amazing that even one steel like the Savannah. Right, Savala, it's so flexible, right? They can produce many different marks on one still, just adjusting, pressure, temperature, etc. It's just mind blowing.
Have you been to this distillery? Or
yes,
okay,
we visited them 2 years ago. Yeah, we got lucky. I felt really like I was living my dream at that moment. It was amazing to see.
It's not easy. it's not easy to get in. I mean, I know people they would like to go, but it's like only for on invitation. And just a few.
We represent industry, right? We are so
Exactly.
It could maybe it was the factor that let us in.
Yeah, I think so, because it's just for commercial reason, and it's like a museum for rum geeks as we are. This would be amazing place. You could spend a week there, and you would learn a lot.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. I probably asked them if I could stand there like a week or something. Yeah. I might have asked them.
Any trips you are planning? Somewhere you are going next, or are you staying maybe now? In Europe it's starting. The Rum Fest season is starting. Mm-hmm. So are you planning to stay in Europe?
We will be visiting some festivals. We will be exhibiting, of course, on a few. I do quite some trips right now because we have we have a tasting like almost every week. Mm-hmm. So now I travel within Europe. To meet, to do networking, to meet new people, and also to learn from other rum enthusiasts. And hopefully we also visit some distilleries. Fingers crossed. Yeah,
that's the best way to learn. Always, we never stop learning, and also maybe get a nice deal out of it, especially for you, for you guys.
That's a nice side advantage.
Okay, Magda, thank you very much for your time. Again, I'm just asking you, please don't hang up now because we will need to upload the episode. And I hope to meet you soon. Maybe one of the festivals. Again, Europe, Switzerland, and Poland are not that far. Maybe, who knows? Next time I will find a stand of Colors of Rum. I will.
Yeah, definitely.
I will. Do you are normally there? Yeah, as brand ambassador. Imagine that you are normally on all the biggest.
Yes, I am. I'm always there. Yeah,
always there.
I
Perfect.
love it, so I'm always there.
Yeah. Okay, so we will taste some rums together.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
Thank you very much, Magda, and have a nice evening. See you soon. Bye bye. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.